how's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Good.
It really takes it out of me.
Yeah, that was good work, Hugh. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I actually wrote a song about it, if you guys...
Oh, really? Go, yeah, please. It's two... Oh, well, Hugh's... Yeah, this is third show in as...
I think so.
As
Without
our band
Justin,
leader.
I
Big
miss him
hand
a
for
lot.
Hugh Russell, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. New tune?
What?
New tune?
New tune.
All right,
this is about how I'm doing today. I hope everyone else is doing okay today. Goes something like this. Me, A minor, A minor. I had Taco Bell for breakfast, Taco Bell for lunch. I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom a bunch during the show. So, something like that.
Pretty metaphorical.
Yeah.
Well, and ideally, these were separate occurrences of Taco Bell, and it wasn't the original Taco Bell turning into second meal.
Right. I went back.
It's the rule of
Second meal.
thirds.
We don't have Taco Bell, it's the rule of twos. Full circle there.
Hey, how you guys doing? Yeah, you look great.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for braving the snow.
It's something out there.
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
really coming down. So I have a really weird kind of long monologue, and I hope you find it as interesting as I did. Because
That's a good start.
buckle up if not. It's not gonna. So I didn't really have an idea for a monologue, and was like, I'll just wing something. But in my preparation for Garret Jones, big hand for Garret Jones, our parks director, I was like, I'll find some old Riverfront park footage.
As a Ryan do.
From, old-timey times. And, here's, this is like the early 90s, I think. But anyway, I did a lot of digging and was trying to find a bunch of stuff, and then I fell into the YouTube K-hole of like, whoa, like kept finding some crazy stuff. So this is the 90s.
Clearly pre-drone footage.
Right,
Mr. President,
this is helicopter.
will you say the magic word?
That's Nixon talking, because this is 74.
On this day,
Now it transitioned
acting
from
in
the
my capacity
90s
as President of the United
back in
States.
time. But look, they had hot air balloons, and then there was an actual tent on the tent in the park. They call it the pavilion.
It's not just a rumor.
And then they had like a boat parade. Why don't we have boat parades anymore, right?
What's up with that?
I want a boat parade for me. And then they put off a bunch of balloons. You're not supposed to do that anymore. It's not good.
Not good for them.
But they did it back then because 70s were wild, man. And then bigger balloons.
Various sized balloons.
Cut back to the 90s and, less balloons. But this is the clock tower, and then so it was all a railroad station for like before that. And then there was a bridge that went over Monroe Street Bridge. That was a train bridge that went like right over it. It was crazy, and that's where it broke off. So you can kind of see the train bridge going right over the Monroe Street Bridge, which is wild. So then they demolished that in the 70s.
You can still see a little bit down by the river, can't you? A couple little connection points.
Yeah. You camp down there sometimes?
Yeah. Time to time. I know some spots.
Yeah. So anyway, then I was digging a little deeper, and you know how the algorithm kind of is like, oh, you like that? You weirdo? Here's some other weird stuff. And then I found out, so in the late 80s, after the expo, there was some, Spokane was pretty stagnant downtown. Oh, well.
Reaching from Spokane to Lake Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, you can play that. There was a commercial for, the little medallions in the Centennial Trail. I thought that was just like people who donated. It is people who donated money, but I didn't realize you could just go to a running store and say, here's $100.
Centennial
Can I get in on that?
Reaching from Spokane to Lake Coeur d'Alene. You can be part of this Northwest legacy by purchasing a foot of the Centennial Trail Miracle Mile. A 1 mile stretch beginning in Riverfront Park will be divided into 1 foot sections. You can buy a foot for $100. Your piece of the trail will be permanently marked. and you will receive a commemorative certificate. Pick up an order form at local running shops and city and county offices and help shape our Centennial Trail.
So I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that was how that happened.
So you get it done.
Oh, and then here's a commercial for Northtown Mall because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, food.
Yeah, that guy.
Just got that mean lean.
The Northtown Mall logo should have stayed, I think. We got a couple designers in the crowd. We should have. So I thought that was funny. I just threw that in for extra. Then it was stagnant in the 80s. So in 87, this is 1987, Spokane decided to do the Spokane Grand Prix. And they actually had a full-on like race car race in the middle of downtown.
Sure.
So this is 87. They did it 2 years, 87 and 88. And then they realized, oh, people aren't coming downtown to go shopping or anything because you can't cross the street when there's race cars going on it. They had, these are bleachers right above Washington, right by the pavilion. Oh, wow. And they just go like right down to the Washington Street. This is the whole track. So they closed down like all of downtown. That's Washington. It goes all the way through downtown. This goes on for a little bit, but it's so the mayor at the time, I can't remember which mayor it was, but they were like, oh yeah, we need something to revitalize downtown Spokane and the park and stuff. And they're like, let's have a race car race.
Perfect.
Like, cool.
What do trees love but exhaust?
Right. Oh man, you really brought the crowd down with that one.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
There's a Washington Water Power building. It went like right in front of the park, essentially, which is super wild. Yeah, I kind of made this a little too long, but I was like deep in it and was like, oh yeah, everybody's gonna love this.
I mean, this could be a 400 by 600 resolution VR, app. I see something here, Ryan.
Did you see the advertisement for Shucks Auto Parts?
Nice.
I forgot about Shucks. What a great store name.
Yeah.
Shucks. Yeah.
Auto parts.
So wild. So this guy, the footage I found, it was just some guy on YouTube who, I don't think he's from Spokane. He just came here because he's like going up to women and kind of harassing them. But
as you do.
And then just talking about dudes in their race cars. They're like, yeah, I got 4 Torques on the Hemi.
You got a quad in that thing? Is it a quad?
Like, I don't know. Quads, yeah.
Solid quad.
Yeah. A lot of beer advertisements. But I guess the race people, they paid for everything, but it's full on race cars. Isn't this crazy? That's the Riverfront building up there. That's that weird apartment building. Or normal apartment building. Is it just me? Isn't this crazy? This is so weird. That's the Civic Theater?
Oh, yeah.
And then it was before the arena was here, it was the Coliseum, which is right there.
So, you kept going, I assume.
I kept going.
That's not the stopping point.
So this is the best Spokane gold I have ever discovered in my life. Spokane Ghostbusters, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
These 3 guys.
Oh, yeah.
Well, these 2 guys are great. But in 1984, they had a beta cam and were like, let's remake Ghostbusters. And it's 40 minutes long. The whole thing's on YouTube if you just YouTube Spokane Ghostbusters.
Not a lot of
It
other
will
hits.
come up. But I cut it down to about 2 minutes, and I really think we should watch the 2 minutes. I tried reaching out to them to see if they would come on the show,
eventually.
but I will find them and have them on here at some point. But here's a little, is there, I think it goes, maybe I was supposed to talk more here, but it, oh yeah, okay, it's gonna start here real soon. They take elements of like Halloween, they use the soundtrack to Ghostbusters, but...
Exterminators. We could be exterminators. You know, I hate bugs.
He says, exterminators, we can be exterminators.
Ghost
He goes,
exterminators.
you know I hate bugs.
Ghosts.
They use the soundtrack to Ghostbusters.
Jack, you okay?
Just like Ghostbusters!
Are you accompanied by strange voices in the night? Do you have free-floating form vapors in your home? Do you suspect your neighbors in the
They kind of scooched in a little. They built proton packs!
What's this button do anyway?
Watch this effect. No! This is great. This is a classic effect.
You get it?
I think we've shot in that same alleyway.
I think so.
Alert, 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 alert.
All right, it's in there, Jack. Right.
That's the ghost.
What do we do now?
I guess we wait till he comes back.
Die, sucker!
Oh, let's get out of the exterminating business. I'm with you.
That's the end.
Call it a day.
Wow. Yeah, Spokane Ghostbusters, guys. I'll find these guys and find out. I mean, and really, it's kind of commendable for '84. Like, they put a lot of work into it. It's really, I know it seems pretty silly now, but like, they put a lot of work into it. And then he also has commercials that he made for Spokane in like '85, which I didn't realize Spokane has been going on that long. Anyway, wild. One last thing on that. There is 3 different Spokane Ghostbusters. There is this that came out in 1984. There's somebody else made a Spokane Ghostbusters in 2008 that is much more serious and not funny and very hard to watch. And then there is just a couple of guys who are like a dance team that you can like hire the Spokane Ghostbusters to come
So it's spooky dancing?
be Ghostbusters, like in part 2 when they go to birthday parties, I think. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Let's give him a call.
Okay, so. Oh, I had notes for all this. I just made it up on the spot, I guess.
Total pro.
That's pro.
Total pro.
3 different Spokane Ghostbusters. But when it comes to
talking points were
beautification of our parks, who are you going to call? Garret Jones. Our next guest, everybody.
Oh, sorry. Garret Jones has bones in his body. Garret Jones.
Cheers. Welcome.
Garret Jones.
Garret, have a seat, buddy.
That is
All right.
a hard one to follow.
Sorry, yeah.
Nice
I know.
video searching.
Spokane Ghostbusters.
Now, before we start, there are 2 things.
Yeah.
One of my guilty pleasures is Taco Bell. Not really allowed to have it anymore.
Right. Not allowed.
But I love it.
Okay.
And there was one other video that I'm surprised that you didn't find when you were searching, and it's kind of a sad story.
Okay.
And it was before I was head of the Parks Department. That's probably 10 years ago. We were having problems with our tree roots out at Finch Arboretum, and there was this device called the Rotinator, and it actually pumped propane into the ground, these little mole ground squirrels, and it went so far to the national news where they had clips of Caddyshack, the movie.
I knew it. Yeah, perfect.
And
Wow.
I'm surprised you didn't find that. But
Well, I'm
next
still
time,
on the
next
YouTube
time.
journey. I
Yeah.
mean, I
Yeah.
could very well end up there tomorrow. But thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. First time.
You're doing a
Love
lot
it.
better things at the park now, or parks.
Absolutely.
No
Yeah.
propane. You got
No
rid of that.
propane. We
Oh,
love
that's
it.
good. That's good. A lot's been done to Riverfront specifically. What exactly has been done and what's to come?
Since 2014, when we the citizens approved the bond for the redevelopment of Riverfront Park, we've seen a ton of transformation out there so far. It started in 2017 with the New America Ice Ribbon, followed by the renovation of the Louvre Carousel, and now giving it really the jewel box that historic carousel deserves.
Right.
And a big component too is creating open, safe pathways in the promenade. So creating bike corridors and lit pathways so people feel safe. We heard a lot during the master plan process that
Sure.
people felt a little scared in Riverfront Park. And of course, one of the big grand openings, I think was the highlight of last year, was the grand opening of the pavilion. And it was a 2-day grand opening, really giving a taste to the public of what you're going to see in the future program in that space, whether it's the Spokane Symphony, and concerts. We had the Spokane Tribe doing cultural programs as well, and kids events. And so a lot has happened, and we have quite a bit to do left as well.
It felt like it was, when it first started, you're like, oh boy, this is going to be a journey. But now that it's here, it's felt like it's been here forever to me. I mean, I'm downtown a lot, so
Yeah, it
feels
assimilated pretty well.
still natural from like how it was, and
Yeah, I think our design teams have done a great job. It's been a lot of ups and downs. I mean, Riverfront Park is really a fishbowl.
Yeah.
Everybody has their opinions and thoughts and comments of what our center, basically the central park for Spokane, should be.
Sure.
So it's been quite a journey. We've learned a lot,
Yeah.
but also we've given the flexibility to do so many different things in the future.
Yeah. How does Riverfront Park compare to like other parks in bigger cities?
It's interesting. We're very fortunate in Spokane, and it really started in the early 1900s when we had the Olmsted brothers, were the fathers of landscape architecture, that were just coming through, and then heading over to the University of Washington to their campus. And the leaders at the time said, hey, no, stop here in Spokane. We really want to have a master plan for the park system because we feel parks are important.
Right.
And so the Olmsted brothers came up with a parks report. And then in early 1900s, the city of Spokane passed a $1 million bond,
Yeah.
which was huge
In
at that time.
1900, yeah.
And to invest in their parks. And so ever since, it's been that legacy that really Spokane loves their park system.
Yeah.
And we have a mixture between native conservation land to the urban park that you see in Riverfront that's really event driven.
Yeah. Well, and you're relatively new to the role. Do you have hopes or like a direction, or it sounds like obviously you listen to a lot of the people and their concerns, but do you have you have a landscape architect background?
I do, in the design background. I've been with the city for 12 years through different roles. Started as an intern, and I always like to kind of tell that story for either college kids or high school kids that internships are an opportunity to really open their door to the career. And I love the city, and I think it all is about people. Yeah. It's the people you work with, and then it's the people you serve. Sure. And I think moving forward in the Parks Department, we really need to be outward facing and really engage with the public more. Mm-hmm. And of course, finish up the 2 big projects in Riverfront Park here in this next year, and that's going to be the Destination Playground on the North Bank, an all-inclusive playground on West Havermill. So this is right across from the Washington Power building. And so what all-inclusive means, any age, any ability, any disability, any cognitive disability, everyone has the same playing field. So everyone can play together. Nobody feels isolated.
That's awesome.
And so that's going to be one of the first in the region.
Like playground equipment that's accessible to
everyone, and then different textures, different sounds, and then and what we call like quiet zones. So
Sure,
if somebody that has autism around this, that has these areas to rest, have its own custom restroom that has, a lot of us, we don't think of adult changing tables and things like that.
Yeah.
But to be able to accommodate to that public is going to be really important to us.
Yeah, I did not know that, and I'm very, My son has CP and is autistic, and I'm very excited about that.
And then one of the big promises too of what we're going to do. You remember under the freeway skate park when it was decommissioned. This was 6-7 years ago. We promised an alternative.
Yeah.
Somewhere in downtown, and so this is going to be adjacent to the North Bank Playground.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Now we're going to have a wheels skate park facility that's going to be a part of Riverfront Park.
Wow. Oh, man. Isn't that exciting? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. I asked you that. Upcoming events that may be happening in the parks?
Upcoming events, so we're going to be kicking off, and you're going to see slowly these concert announcements happening in the pavilion. So we're going to have 8 to 10 concerts in the pavilion. We're going to continue to expand on what we call the mobile rec unit. So this is actually going to parks with our staff, with recreation supplies, teaching kids different recreation activities in different parks and different locations.
Yeah.
And then one of our biggest events or projects we're going to be kicking off this year is our update on our park and open space plan. So this happens every 6 to 10 years, and it really gives the citizens an opportunity to tell us what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what gaps do we have in our service, what are the top priorities. So this sets up the future of what staff and our park board are going to implement then for the next 6 to 10 years. And so this is going to be a year-long process with a lot of pop-up community events, going to farmers markets, just in surveys and getting people's input of what they want to see the future be for the park system.
So just out in the community getting the feedback there.
And then we're going to have a plan that's adopted that gives us the guidance of how to implement the improvements in the future.
Wow, that is so cool, man. I
love my job.
As long as the Hello Kitty pop-up shop keeps happening, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
One weird, it doesn't really completely align with the parks, but the CSO tank that's right here, and they built all this thing right out here, you know that thing?
The plaza.
Yeah, it actually kind of connects the library to the park in a way.
Absolutely.
And vice versa.
And, we wanted to really have the opportunity to not only physically, but also programmatically expand Riverfront Park to the west. So Huntington Park, the Gathering Place Plaza, the plaza that you see out here, to really expand to our great river gorge, to give that opportunity to have that. What city can you go in where you have this urban setting downtown, you walk 5 minutes and you're in this beautiful river gorge?
Yeah.
And so the opportunities out here too for programs, and then also you'll see a ramp that goes down and then kind of dead ends by Monroe Street Bridge. So the plan is to go underneath the bridge, come up on the other side, and then that goes into what we call the South Gorge Loop Trail. So that'll be a trail that takes you all the way through Peaceful Valley to the Sandifer Bridge into Kendall Yards. And so you have about a 3-mile loop that you'll be able to travel along. And so that's going to be an exciting project. And then also the connections with the library. Even this project is expanded our relationships with the library. I hate to say this, the library staff is great.
Yeah.
We love to work with the library, and we're working on expanding the Shadle Park Library, a new library site at Liberty Park, adjacent to our aquatic center. So it's been a great relationship. We love the library staff.
Well, likewise.
And to be able to have different programs and really activate these spaces positively, and so it's going to be a great future for the city. So,
Garret, all this stuff sounds amazing, and I thank you so much for coming on and letting everybody know. I'm super pumped. This is great.
Yeah,
Garret Jones, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Garret.
All right. Wow,
That's super cool.
I did research. I didn't know. Yeah.
We need the skate park back.
Yeah. Oh boy, I got in a lot of trouble under that skate park.
Me too.
I dislocated my shoulder under there. It was great though.
Totally worth it.
Well, our next guest is no stranger to the parks, and I'm glad I didn't put my Bigfoot in my mouth, because we welcome Bigfoot. Bigfoot, everybody. Bigfoot is here to give his input. Bigfoot, thanks, buddy. Oh, God. Okay. Thank you.
Reach ya.
Okay.
Super grip.
Wow.
Reach ya.
Oh, okay.
Bigfoot. Classic Bigfoot. Have a seat.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we hear Bigfoot?
Good.
Wow. I mean, are you excited about those additions to the park? You look stoked.
I'm thrilled.
That's great. Mr. Quatch, you love the outdoors. What is your favorite park?
I prefer Overlook Park
Oh, okay.
in downtown Spokane.
Did you say prefer?
It's a good one,
It depends
Tucker.
if it's available or not.
It's a good one.
know.
It's a pretty good one.
What's your favorite meal?
So this is actually something I really love to talk about and get people involved in. Is I'm a vegan, but I'm also a freegan vegan.
Freaking vegan.
Yeah. So you can find some really primo stuff in the dumpster behind Trader Joe's.
Good to know.
Some
Good, super
really
good to know.
good
All
stuff.
right.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh, I bet I know. I'll bet I know.
Don't.
Harry and the Hendersons?
No.
No. Okay.
That's ignorant.
that is. You're right. You're right. I'm
I
sorry.
actually love Titanic.
Oh, well,
Titanic,
yeah, of
really?
course, a classic, yeah.
Icebergs kind of scare.
I imagine if you had anybody draw you, it'd be blurry, though. Get it?
You got a slow clap on
Wow,
that one.
she's shaking her head at me.
The disrespect.
Mr. Quad, I'm so sorry. I really appreciate you coming on, though, and telling us your favorite meal and movie.
Yeah, you're
Super
welcome.
pertinent info.
No problem. Anytime. I'm here. What's up?
All right.
Ready to go.
Just saying.
All right. Thanks for coming on. I
Squatch is
really
wrong.
appreciate it. Oh, my gosh. Goodness, Sasquatch, everybody. Oh, wow. Wow. Iron and grit. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Like an animal. We're cruising right along. Our next guest, you could say, has been roaming on tour last week, and I say roaming because they are Buffalo Jones. Buffalo roam where the buffalo roam. Buffalo Jones, everybody! Let's get this.
Yeah, let's get this out of here.
Oh,
Thank you.
I got the heavy side. Don't worry. Okay. There we go. Okay. Mic stands. Those are good. Yeah. I got it.
You got it, Ryan. You're fine. You got it. You're doing great.
Sasquatch.
Yeah, where is the Squatch?
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, Mr. Quatch.
Squatching and quatching.
Wow. Okay. Whew. Clipping right along. Here we go. Shell, you ready? Oh boy. I roaming buffalo. Yeah, I did that.
Yep,
and
yep.
then
It killed.
thanks, buddy. You guys just got off a tour, yeah? Yeah. Oh, mic check.
no.
All right. Nope.
It's on.
There it is. Okay. Just recorded an album in Georgia.
Yeah, in Athens, Georgia, with David Lowery, who is singer for Cracker and Camper Van Beethoven. He produced it down there, and we just toured with them.
Yeah.
10 shows in 10 days, 5,000 miles, and we made it.
For those who don't know, Jason is my boss. He works here at the library. And he
Totally didn't insist on doing this repeatedly or anything.
we thought it was funny, like, because I was like, why doesn't your band play? And he's like, I don't want people to think I was trying to, like,
No,
what a
the pressure
weird
was from us.
long con to play 3 songs at your own show.
It's okay.
Really.
It's all paying off now.
It is, yeah.
What are you going to play?
We're going to do, it's kind of the intermission of the show. So we're going to do a song called Intermission, which is on the new album, which we have, if anybody is interested.
Okay. Intermission by Buffalo Jones. Woo. Please enjoy.
Waking up alone, middle of the night, staring at your phone, don't care if it's right. You got half a mind to leave, just back and move away, but I don't think it's gonna be today. Sitting in the dark, walls are closing in, searching for a spark. Don't know where you've been. You got half a mind to leave, just throw it all away, but I don't think it's gonna be today. Don't stop trying, the light is dying, but soon a new day will dawn. This isn't the end, it's intermission. The next act is gonna be the one.
Thank you.
Wow. Buffalo Jones, everybody. Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay. Right? To a seated library audience.
We love it every time.
Rock and roll, man. Boy, I hope you guys are getting ready for my next segue. It's gonna be great. Oh, thanks, Hugh. I'll start my segue. Our next guest was a real bear to get because she made a stuffed panda, and pandas are in the bear family. Oh, sorry. Please welcome Michelle Armstrong. Michelle, come on up. Oh, hi. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you. Tell us what Finn the Panda is and what does he do?
Well, Finn the Panda is a special gift for babies and children in the hospital. I developed him after my son Finn was in the hospital. He was born premature, and he was in the NICU for 2 months and then had RSV and was back in PICU for 10 more days later on and had a surgery. So after that, I needed something to put my energy into and wanted to help other families in similar situations. So I developed the Panda. He has a removable scent patch. Sorry, this is my Finn's bear, so it's covered in peanut butter. But that comes off. Mom can wear it under her shirt, or Dad can wear it, and then you reattach it or set it in the incubator. And then they can smell you, which is known to help with bonding and comfort for babies and children. And then it has a recording device that records up to a minute. And that's definitely my 4-year-old doing some fart noises. Because 4-year-olds love it too. But yeah, it's intended for like lullabies and singing to your baby or reading books, or like if brother or sister can't come into the hospital, they can send a message. But the singing, especially mom's voice, is known, research has shown it brings down cortisol levels, so there's stress hormone. Yeah. So if they're getting a blood draw or even just a diaper change can be kind of stressful, and you're not there, the nurse can play your voice so they can hear you. It's antimicrobial, so it's safe, and it is black and white to appeal to babies' early vision.
So you just threw this together and you kind of knew all that stuff right away.
Well, I saw it firsthand with my son. I had one song that I sang over and over and over again. The nurses all knew it by heart because I sang it so much. And anytime they were doing something, I couldn't hold him in the beginning, but I could get real close to him and sing real soft. And he would immediately stop crying or just calm. And I would bring my own cloths in for him to have my smell, and that would help. But
I didn't think about the smell. I didn't think about the smell thing when my boy was there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is a huge.
Yeah, and for preemies especially, to bond with their mom even when they can't. Be there all the time. So.
And that's kind of how we met. As well, this wasn't around when my Cohen was in the hospital, but he recently had to go. Oh, brother.
Are you gonna cry?
Went back, and we got this before I knew you, and I was like, wow, what is this? And then we got teamed up to do a thing through a mutual friend, and I was like, oh my gosh, you have to come on the show and talk about this. You're the bear girl, yeah. So you can obviously. It's a little weird if you're in a situation where your child is in the hospital and you're like, what could I get? Like, there's a bunch of different options to like purchase the bear, and then you've done a bunch of different things to get the bear out and known, right?
Yes, yeah.
Such as?
Well, it's really intended to be a gift. So the company is Finn & Co. Gifts, because when I was in the hospital with my son, I'm not Googling like, what's a good gift for myself?
That's what
to my child. So it was intended for like, grandma buys it, your aunt, your best friend, your sister, to help people in a difficult time when they, aren't really thinking about those things that they can do. And ideally, I'd like to see it in hospitals, that it's something they hand to the parent, not only for the baby's sake, but also because it's so overwhelming. there's this tiny, fragile baby, and you just want to be a parent to them, but you're afraid to even touch them.
A lot of times you can't.
A lot of times you can't touch them.
I didn't get to hold Cohen for a month.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So to tell them that even though this doesn't look like what you had hoped, you are a part of the healing process. Your voice, your smell, everything does something.
Anything you can do in those key early stages like that, every little bit helps.
Yeah.
And that's huge. It could be all the difference.
It's intimidating, and the doctors are there to keep your baby alive, but you have healing powers for them as well, even though you don't have a medical degree.
Exactly. And that's how I received it. It was just in our room, and I was like, who gave us this?
Yeah, Sacred Heart purchased about 20 that they're just giving out to appropriate families, and I hope to get into more hospitals.
You recently also just had a sell to
Ronald McDonald House. So how I did that one, for Christmas I wanted to donate a bunch of bears, and I thought Ronald McDonald House would be appropriate because that's families who, they have to live, I think, at least 40 miles away from the hospital, and then they can stay in the house. But then that means that brothers and sisters are still far away, or maybe dad's working and he's at home, but mom's in the Ronald McDonald House. So I called and I found out they have 22 rooms, and so I did a social media, and you can sponsor a bear, and it'll be given to a local family. And so for every sponsored bear, I donated a bear, and we were able to give 38 bears to families at the Ronald McDonald House.
That's so cool. Isn't that great? Oh, man. Most parents you're just kind of thrust into this situation, and you don't know what to do and how to cope. How did you cope? You were telling me about the cake thing, and Michelle kind of gets a little dark with her humor.
My husband and I, we use some dark humor to survive it. We all have our coping mechanisms. We did a lot of prayer, a little bit of bourbon, and just kind of surviving the days. There was one woman that I would come in, I'm pumping through the night, and I'm rushing in to try to get to the 6 a.m. where they do their rounds, and the doctor comes and talks about your baby, and I've had my own emergency C-section, I had 5 blood transfusions, and I'm just a wreck through all of this. And so you actually have to wait at a door to get in to see your baby because there's safety protocol. So we're standing there and calling, and I'm just completely haggard and wrecked, and there's this other mom that she always comes in, and she's got her hair done and her makeup done, and she's got her little heels on, and she's always smiling, and I'm just like, what is going on? I am obviously not feeling this. So I asked my nurse that day, and I'm like, who is this chick? And she's like, oh, the Disney princess. Yeah. She's like, there's birds that wait at the window before she gets there, and the mice bring her their snacks and stuff, because she just was on a different level. But I asked if the nurse could ask her if she'd come talk to me and kind of tell me what her secret was. And it was her second preemie, so she'd been through it before, and she just kind of knew how to not put the stress on herself as much, to be there every minute, but to take care of herself and to sleep and get ready and go into it looking forward to the time with her child. And she said something, she said, this was my second as well, and she said, we're so blessed to just sit here and hold our babies all day or be with them all day. Like, what mom gets to do that with their second? And I was like, well, that's not how I was looking at it, but that is a great perspective. So
that's cool. There's the website, which is FinandCoGifts.com, and then you have an Instagram. And a Facebook, Fin and Co Gifts. You brought some with you?
I brought some bears, so you can go on the website, or here you can sponsor a bear for a family. You can say what hospital you want it to go to, or you can get one for somebody you know. It's designed for babies in the hospital, but I have found, I use it with my son. I'm not there for bedtime tonight. He can play mom's lullaby. Babies that have separation anxiety, or older kids who just want the comfort too. So.
Really, it's a really amazing gift if you want to make a difference. Especially, it's so cool that it's a local thing, and I'm really just proud of you for making such a cool thing. And I know that's kind of weird to say, but it's very sweet, and it was a really nice surprise because my son, we had to go to Portland. My wife had a C-section, and so it was just he and I who went. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And the doctor had no bedside manner and just said horrible. I mean, he wasn't mean to me, but he was just like, "What do you want to do if this baby dies?" And I'm like, "Die too?" Like, I don't know. So something like this can be like a very big comfort for somebody going through a really hard time, and it's really special and unique. So please, if you feel have the means, go sponsor a bear or buy some or help get this going because it's such a great idea. And Michelle, thanks so much for coming on. Michelle Armstrong, everybody. Thank you. Sorry. Good job holding it together. Unlike me.
We've got another one, and we'll got to do it at some point. Put together, we're talking about it. A clip reel
of me.
Of but specifically every time he breaks, and then I just go. I'm a monster.
Son, you stone cold guy.
That's what they call me.
Well, we just had. No, okay, wait. I'm gonna wait. I want to tell you all that next month is the last month that we'll have Lilac City Live here at the library because the library will be closing down for the new renovations, and the new space is going to be spectacular, amazing. It's
couple years off, though.
So much fun, but that is hopefully just 2 years away. But in the meantime, we are going to continue to do this show at Lucky You Lounge. Same time, same bat channel, every third Thursday, 8 o'clock.
We'll be there.
Unfortunately, that means no more children can come, but there's a lot more booze.
It's going to get a little sassier, right? No, it probably won't.
It'll be the same show, and we'll keep,
hopefully,
we want to thank Caleb and Carly Ingersoll for letting us do that.
Pretty awesome.
We're really excited. So don't forget.
So that'll be the send-off show next month.
Yeah, next month. Come to the
Say goodbye
finale.
to the old space.
Yeah, we got some.
It's gonna be fun.
Hopefully some weird things.
It's gonna be
I might need your help with
show,
something, Cody. Yeah.
We got ideas.
Well, we just had Finn the Panda, but I was inspired by that and made my own version.
Absolutely.
Please welcome Larry the Llama. Oh, Larry. Larry is an automated animal
Totally
llama.
self-sufficient.
But I was really inspired by your idea, Michelle, and I designed Larry here to go to adult functions that you don't want to go to.
A surrogate, if you will.
So a lot like Finn, you can put your scent on Larry.
Hose him down.
And then you can record yourself saying
sweet nothings,
funny,
for
example,
little Oscar Wilde quips,
if you
party
went
favors.
to Thanksgiving, you might have him say,
"Hello, kids are good. I am employed. Cranberry sauce, please."
Totally natural. Is that you, Ryan, at Thanksgiving that we always attend together?
I guess.
I assume.
Why would I question it?
I can't, yeah.
Or a work meeting.
Synergy, proactive. No, Ryan, you can't rent a hot tub limo on the company card.
Larry.
Standard meeting fare.
Yes. Or even a Tupperware party.
No, please, dear God, I don't want to buy anything.
Well, at least listen to it burp first.
Larry the Llama, give him a big hand.
Larry.
Look for my Kickstarter popping
Totally
up soon.
feasible.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Took that off like immediately.
Sweet freedom.
Ben Glass, everybody. We've put him in every costume imaginable. Well, we're right back in it. Geez, I nailed it. We were right at an hour. Okay.
Wow. Well done.
Buffalo Jones, come back up. We'll get these back off here. Michelle has your bears right in the back on the thing there. I also want to thank our sponsor, Spokane City Credit Union. They have things in the back as well. If you're interested, it's a very...
I was thinking about that. They have the little library, but what if there was a big library? I'm just saying, something to think about. There's something going on there.
You know, if you can't make it downtown, just right Monroe and
I don't think so. Yeah, it's too big. It's too wild.
So I know, typically the band plays 2 songs and then the show's over, but gosh, sorry. A friend of the show, Tony Russell, took his own life last week, and he was on the show, and we're gonna play his stand-up routine he did on here, and the interview we did with him, and he's very funny, and I encourage you to stay and watch it, and also he's going to be there's going to be the comedy club on the 27th on a Monday is going to have a show in his memory, and Buffalo Jones is going to play a song. What 2 are you going to play for us?
Rainbows.
Yeah. Thanks for the intro. We're going to do...
this is my boss.
We've been a band in Spokane for a decade plus in one form or another, and it's not always that glamorous being a band in this town,
Sure.
as you know.
Yeah. I mean, the library gigs don't always come up, you know?
But we wrote a song about this band. It's kind of a love letter to Spokane. A lot of venues have come and gone here. We've played most, if not all of them. So there's a section of the song that talks about all these dead places.
Is it like the Billy Joel song?
Yeah, exactly. It's a parody.
Pepsi Cola, Coke Wars.
No, but it's also about being in this band and doing this weird thing for...
What's it called?
It's called Every Word.
Every Word.
Yeah.
All right. Buffalo Jones, everybody. Thank you to all my guests.
Thanks, everybody.
Please stick around after the show.
Please do. Take care of each other.
We don't have a lot to show for all those nights we didn't know just what time we would get home. Loading out and loading up again, back and forth across the pass, just enough to cover gas. And if we're lucky, we can crash on someone's floor and do it all again. Sometimes I wonder why we keep doing this, but we can't drive all day long. We can't listen to these songs, and we can sing every word. And at the end of the night, I know we'll be alright, 'cause we can sing every word. There were nights when we all knew 12 people in the room, but you know there were a few nights we couldn't fit 'em get the feeling that it always will. We can drive all day long, we can listen to these songs, and we can sing every word. And at the end of the night, I know we'll be alright, 'cause we can sing every word. When the boulevard was closing, we had to find a new place to hide. We never stopped to smell the roses until the radiator died and left us stranded in the dark, searching for a spot, and the lantern was the only light down. So we planned our new release, and we finally made our peace with the light of the Big Dipper shining down. We were raised on rock coffee and cabaret wine. Thank you. Brandon Humphreys on lead guitar, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Andy Rumsey on the bass, half the time when it's plugged in. Joshua Martin on the drums.
Jason Johnson, boys and girls.
Like I said, we do have a new album, which I recommend you purchase. It sounds better on CD than streaming, in case anybody was...
That's not a lie.
You could think of it as like a physical Spotify disc. And most people's cars can do it if you have older cars. But on the record, we got David Lowery, who is the singer of Cracker and Camper Van Beethoven, actually sings 2 songs on our record for us, 2 songs that I wrote, so it's kind of crazy. I've been listening to the guy since I was 12. So this is one that he does on the record, but there's a couple hidden songs on there, if you remember how those work on CDs. So our versions are on there too. This song is called Never Be Lonely.
so far. It just blends in with the mess that we've made of this place. If you cover your eyes with your hand and bury your head in the sand, everything's going as planned, as far as you know. Oh, you can never be lonely. 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 Your eyes burn from the light, so you only come out at night. Nocturnality's hard. You're so afraid of the dark. If you cover your eyes with your hand and bury your head in the sand, everything's going as planned, as far as you know. Oh, you can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. Oh, you can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. This is no time for taking risks. You could be a swing and a miss. And all of this is added to the list. Oh, you can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. Oh, you can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. Oh, you can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. You can never be lonely. Thank you.
Oh, you're gonna put the screen down? Okay. Just wanted to cry one more time and bum everybody out that I keep wanting to call it a benefit show, but it's not a benefit show. It's just a show in Tony's memory. It's on the 27th at the Spokane Comedy Club. And go, because it'll be funny and kind of cathartic, and I think that's what Tony would have liked the best. And, you know, you can call the suicide prevention hotline. You can text the suicide prevention hotline. There's also another number you can text that I put at the end of this video. And also, if you don't, I know there's those situations where you can't ask for help, because usually when you're already at that point, it's not like you're going to ask for help for somebody. But if you want to just talk to me, you can message me, and I'll talk to you, and we don't have to talk about horrible things. We can just laugh or talk about silly stuff, and because I can't have any more of my friends die when they don't have to. So, this is going to be so funny. But please, I will respond to you. If I don't know you, I will respond if you need somebody to talk to. So please have a great night. Please drive safe. It's very slippery out. And thank you so much for always coming to the show, even when it is miserable out and horrible things happen. So I hope it helps you feel a little better. Thanks, everybody. Up next, we're going to have a friend of ours perform the first time here at Lilac City Live. He's an author, a poet, a comedian, and a lover of Spokane. Give a big hand to Tony Russell. Come on.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Marianne Wilson was here tonight. How sweet is that, huh? Gosh, now all I can think of is like, man, I really want my blood pressure to be a testimonial one day. He was 120/70. I want to answer a very obvious question before we get started. Yes, my mattress is on the floor. It's okay, I know what I look like. I'm coming to terms with what I look like. I think I figured it out. I look like I got fired. Like from anywhere. Like a year ago. I saw a lot of Lime scooters on my drive down here. Those are really cool. It's really weird for me when I'm driving, though, because all I see when I see them is 10 points, 10 points, 10 points. I'm half Korean and half Spanish. So I figured a good business venture for me would be to open a tapas restaurant where you can do your dry cleaning. Extra starch. Nobody ever believes me when I tell them I'm half Korean. They're like, I'm half Korean. They're like, oh, I don't know. I don't really see it. I was like, I'm half Korean from the waist down. My parents are both immigrants, so growing up, we never went out to eat. But I would always see advertisements for something called Homestyle biscuits or Homestyle gravy. Or the one that really messed me up was Homestyle restaurant. It's like, what the hell is a Homestyle restaurant? It's like, maybe it's like my buddy Brian's home. They eat DiGiorno pizza every night. Maybe it's a pizza place. Then I started thinking to myself, I was like, whoa, what if it's like my home? Then I imagined this restaurant in like a bad part of town where you have to let yourself in with a key underneath the doormat, sit cross-legged in front of the TV and get pennies thrown at the back of your head. And then I imagined ordering at this restaurant. I was like, well, the lady will have the fun dip and I'll have the summers full of yard work. And for dessert, we're torn between the flan and the long-term disappointment. I have a lot of tattoos. People always ask me what my tattoos mean. They're like, hey, what do your tattoos mean, man? What do they mean, man? They mean I can't get a job. Okay? This is I'll never be a doctor. These are all the community colleges I failed out of. And this one's I'm really sorry, Mom. There is a silver lining to having a neck tattoo, though. Getting asked for money on the street is totally different. It used to be like, hey, man, can you spare anything? And be like, yeah, let me see what I got. But now it's like, hey, man, can you... Wait a second, is that a neck tattoo? Tony? Why did you say so in the first place? Hey, everyone, this is Tony. He's going to be hanging out with us for a while. Here's your warm Zima, a light bulb, and the oldest mountain bike in the world with no chain on it. Does anyone still use Craigslist? No, really? It's not just for police sting operations? I was hanging out with my buddy the other week, and he's like, on his phone, he goes, "You're never gonna guess what they're selling on Craigslist, man." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Someone's selling a shotgun, a tarp, overalls, some duct tape, and a shovel, all for $5. I was like, "Dude, you're about to buy being framed on Craigslist. The only thing missing is the police evidence box that's all supposed to be in." I recently got my license renewed, and when I went up to the counter, the person behind the counter was like, "Well, do you still want to be an organ donor?" And I had to think about it. Because I was like, I think maybe the life-saving years of my organs might be behind me. I was like looking at the guy, I was like, this guy has no idea I've been surviving off Coors Light and old beef jerky for the last 15 years. When I went to the doctor, they took an x-ray of my torso, and the doctor thought it was a basket of mozzarella sticks. My name's Tony Russell. I really appreciate it.
Come on up to the couch here, Tony. Tony Russell, everybody. That was great. Hot mic, we're good? Yeah.
We're hot, yeah.
Great set, man. That was
Thanks,
fantastic.
appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I love Spokane.
Yeah. Likewise. So when did you get your start? How long you been doing comedy?
I first went on stage about 10 years ago in Atlanta, but I've been doing it serious for probably like 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you're making quite a bit of progress. I mean,
I'm trying to.
If you go to the Spokane Comedy Club, you'll see, probably see Tony. Like, you're there quite often. You're working a lot. Recently, you were in the Valley Fest Comedy Cup.
Yeah, the clean comedy. That was a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a clean comedy competition.
Like, how clean does it have to be? Is it like very?
I mean, probably about comparable
did you have to cut
this.
Any of that you did?
No, it had to be cleaner.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So yeah, did you write new material?
So I had to wear pants.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I know. I gotta tell you though, I'm feeling pretty uncomfortable sitting next to this guy.
Well,
though.
it's the beard.
That's fair.
Yeah. I just, hobos have extra sense when they know a hobo is in the vicinity with them. I just have one question.
Yeah.
Is life like a box of chocolates?
Oh, don't see, you're spoiling next year's Halloween costume. You already spoiled it. Missy was going to be Gump before the run, and I'm going to be Gump after the run.
Gaunt after the run.
Gumped after the run.
Gotcha.
You also recently did Comedy Wars?
Yeah, that was fun too.
What was that?
It's an improv comedy show which is new to me.
Yeah.
Doing improv, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a joke writer usually,
Sure.
and like
straight stand up.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was a challenge, but it was really fun.
Yeah. And have you ever tried improv before?
Yeah, I've done it a few times,
Yeah.
but it just now I'm getting a lot more comfortable. But it used to be I'd freeze up, if I had to do improv on the spot.
Did they have you do like improv games, or was it like set?
Yeah,
like
there
you're
was
gonna do,
like there was different categories. I had to like write a weird poem and stuff where I was like a serial killer, which was really a stretch. I had to really
stretch
dig
the
deep.
imagination there. Yeah.
About 6 feet deep. Yeah.
And coming up, you have the comedy showcase at the Buzz. Where's the Buzz at?
The Buzz is in the Valley, I think, on Thor.
Okay.
Mm.
And that's how many people? How many comedians?
I think
are
there's
there?
like 6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
6,
it's
yeah.
a competition. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, well, people go out to the Buzz. That's in November, yeah.
Yeah, that's next month.
Okay, great. And you find Tony Russell
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like omnipresent. Yeah.
That is him around the corner.
Oh,
yeah.
Even
mostly
now.
online or like in between 2 and 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like arguing politics.
Yeah. I think we all are doing that one.
Yeah, that's like one of my hobbies.
Yeah. I'm going varsity in that myself.
Nice callback.
Yeah. Have any weird shows you've had doing all these?
Yeah, I've had some weird shows. One time I was doing a show in Idaho, and the entire audience was white supremacists.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I went on stage, and the first thing I said was, "Let's hear it for white people." And the entire crowd like went crazy.
Oh my God.
But then like it was total dead silence as soon as I said I was half Korean. And then they had to like usher me out through the back.
Is this before or after the green room came out? That would, like, I would imagine if you'd already seen Green Room going into that, it'd be like, oh, nope, I'm just going to turn around right now.
I unfortunately had seen it and still took my chances. Yeah.
No, brave of you. No, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Also, not only being a comedian, you've written a book with your wife called Kiss the Messenger.
Yeah.
We have them in the back, or right over there, near the beer and wine. What inspired this? What's it about?
Well, I really love Spokane, and it's sort of like a Bloody Valentine to Spokane.
Yeah.
It's a crime noir series that's based in Spokane, and
Very cool.
Yeah, about dirty cops, prostitutes, alcoholic vigilante.
Some dark stuff.
Yeah, some super dark stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really fun though. It's a really fun read.
It's a light read.
No, it really is. Yeah, it
really is. I've read it. I bought it.
Some comedy.
When you first put it out, I think at the last zine.
So a few years ago. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good book. It's right back there. $10 for the first one, and
yeah, and I'll sign it for you.
Sign it. He'll put some cryptic message in there for you, I'm sure.
If you have lip gloss, I'll kiss it.
But anything else coming up in the next few months, or?
Well, winter's coming up, which I like to call "scratch my legs until they bleed" season.
Oh God, me too. Yeah. I get that so bad.
But I don't. I think it's a white person thing.
I hate it. Well, that's good. Look for scratchy legs this winter. That'll be great. And thanks so much for coming on the show.
Yeah,
Tony
so much
Russell, everybody. Tony. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Thanks.